Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned not being everything to everyone. We've got a friend, Payam Miasmani, who's the CEO of Unibui. In fact, he's been on the show before, and he was in a critical meeting with the Community College Organization of California, um, and and they said, well, can you do this? And he said flat out no. And on one level, it's kind of I don't want to say aggressive because you're like defining what you do, but there's also probably a likelihood to want to be like, sure, we could do that and then figure it out on the back end. But I think what they did is they appreciated he was just staying in his lane.
Yeah.
Have you had a similar scenario when talking to startups?
Yeah, and one of the I think aspects that I've seen sometimes investors do is they take a startup where they have a very good focus, and especially early growth stage startups. Again, we're focusing on pre-seed through Series A.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the early growth startups. And a lot of the time, investors want to see the real big thing happening, say maybe 4 or 5 years down the line, and start pushing these startups into new areas and new modes, which the company is still barely trying to survive and get product market fit with their core product, and then already starting to be asked to focus on different areas. I think that's just a death knell,
Right?
Because you just can't be focusing on multiple industries at the same time unless you have a real good core product and a platform to build from.
So sorry to interject here then, but is there a reason when startups should draw the hard line, would you say, and how do you differentiate from just them exploring early on to see which vertical they do fit in?
Look, so they should focus on the different verticals that they fit in, which is why I always like a scouting phase, but especially if they're starting with the initial problem set. And so today it is so much easier than earlier years where you can actually go and explore without really huge cost implications, just really understanding what's the problem that your customer have and how do you actually solve that. Now, what I've come across with a lot of early growth stage startups is, especially the ones who love to talk about their technology first, is they're quite confused about where this fits in. And some of them actually can, by doing that scouting process, actually understand this is where my key customers are. Customers can as well, versus large customers, completely suck that company up and push them in different directions. So it is a bit of a balance that they need to play, but I would say just really stick. Once you start seeing that there's a specific low-hanging fruit that you can start building on top, is pursue that and just show how you can drive scale, because investors want to see how you can build scale. If there's other product lines that then can come in, and then you have larger teams, sales teams and technology teams that can focus on that, then that's fine to start exploring that too, but don't do it too prematurely. The key focus for early growth stage is to understand where they can get that product and how fast they can get to that product market fit.
Right, and their domain expertise, like kind of let them drive as opposed to trying to like pull the wheel in a specific direction.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, I mean, if the products are complementary to what the core of their, as I say, their identity is, then you can add additional value on that. If it's quite far removed, it takes a whole new team to focus on that.